Okay, welcome everybody. This is the second, I believe the second training we've had. Just going to go over ProfitKeeper, how to access the site, how you're going to be able to upload your financials into your ProfitKeeper, and then we'll go over some goodies and that type of thing on what the benefits you'll be getting out of ProfitKeeper after you complete your submission. So for those of you who have not received your credentials or you're having difficulties signing in, anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and post our contact info at the end of the call. So that way you can give us a call or reach out to us by email and we'll go ahead and provide your credentials to you. So the website you want to go to for ProfitKeeper is members.myprofitkeeper.com. You'll be receiving your credentials, which will contain a login name and a password. These will be very generic set of credentials, so very not easy to remember. So I'm going to show you where in your site you can go ahead and change those. Since ProfitKeeper is cloud-based, you'll be able to access your site as long as you have internet connection, which is great. And you'll go ahead and sign in using your credentials that we give you. If you happen to forget them, you can always create brand new ones by clicking on the links down below. So I'm going to go ahead and click on login here. And you'll see that upon signing in, it's going to take me to my to-do list with the list of items that I will have to complete. Now, since you will be reporting on a monthly basis, ProfitKeeper will keep you on track and let you know when each month is due. When you sign in, you'll have that to-do item for that month. So for this demonstration, I'm reporting for December. And then from there, I'll be able to report for January. Now, your to-do item won't appear for you until the end of that month. So that way you can submit the entire month for October, November, December, whatever it is you're reporting for. We do send out email reminders. So that way it will remind you, I believe it's every Tuesday, beginning with the first Tuesday of every month. And it's just a generic email. You won't be able to respond to it or anything, but it will let you know that you have items to complete along with the date that you'll have to import. So on this screen, I'm just going to click on my to-do item in the list. And here it's going to take me over to my import screen where then manual entry is an option, but it's not preferred. Very time consuming. I wouldn't recommend it, but that is an option. The other options that we have is going to be right under the import button right here on the right. When I click on that, it'll take me over to the other three options that we have available. We do have integrations with QuickBooks, so you will be able to connect your desktop or your online. And then also we do have the option where you can import a CSV file. That's if you use QuickBooks or another accounting software, you have the option to do that. For QuickBooks Online, it's fairly simple. You'll just click on the radio button next to I use QuickBooks Online. Another box will populate and it'll say connect to QuickBooks. You'll click on that. And then after that, it will ask you to sign into your QuickBooks and then ask you to authorize the connection. Now, this is just a read-only connection, so we don't have access to your books or anything like that. It's just designed to read the data for the dates required. So once the connection's made, you won't have to keep coming in here and reconnecting. Once you click on the import button on the previous screen, it will automatically jump you over to step 2, which is right here, asking you to go ahead and begin your submission. So for demonstration purposes, I do have a file that I went ahead and saved on my computer. I'm going to click on that select button and import my P&L first. It'll go ahead and read the data, pull it right in, and jump me over to step 2. So after you've made your connection to QuickBooks, this is where it will jump you into the next step. So here it's just basically asking, where would you like your file to be placed? This is my actual file that was brought in, and it's going to automatically place it underneath the location that I am reporting for. Now, if you have multiple locations, they will all be listed out for you on this screen, and then you'll just, verify that each file is placed directly underneath the location you're reporting for. So after I verified that, I can click on Next Step. And then here is where you will complete the first time mapping process. Since ProfitKeeper will remember how you placed each account the first time, you won't have to keep doing this every month. You'll probably maybe spend 2-3 minutes tops in here every month reporting. And then from there, you'll be able to click on to the analytics and the reports and the benefits of ProfitKeeper. So as you can see, there are a few accounts that were already mapped over. Right here, this is termination fees. If you have the matching account number listed right here to match the number that we have in ProfitKeeper, it will pick up on it and then automatically map it over for you. So that way you don't have to worry about clicking, dragging, and dropping the accounts. It'll automatically map them out if you have the matching account number. But if you don't, that's no problem. You can go ahead and still map out the accounts. For this one, I have my damage fees that I need to map. So I'm going to scroll down and look for my damage fees, which is located right here. And all I'm going to do is click, drag it, drop it right into damage fees. I'll want to make sure that my mouse is highlighted over the account that I'm going to drop it in, and then just go ahead and release it. So once that's mapped out and all of my accounts are mapped, I'm in balance, I'll get a message up at the top. Then from there, I can go ahead and click on Next Step to import my balance sheet. So either if you connect your QuickBooks or uploading a file, it'll automatically read the data in your QuickBooks and then bump you over to step 4, where then you can go ahead and map out your balance sheet accounts. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and select my file for the balance sheet. Select that file, bring it right in. And then here you can see that it already remembered my mapping that I did previously. And all you'll have to basically do here is just, verify that each account was brought in. All of the accounts are matched over to where they need to be in. And then from there, I'll just click on Finish. And you're done. So you'll get a message here saying congratulations that you successfully imported for the months required, and then you can click on exit. So pretty simple. Are there any questions so far on how the mapping process works or how the connection to QuickBooks will work? Still looking okay? All right. We did get Laura. She said that her speaker's not working. That's okay, Laura. If you want, I don't know if you can try calling in or dialing in.
It's actually called back. It says she's
Oh,
on.
she did? Oh, okay, good, good. All right. And we are recording this as well, so just in case you want to view it later. All right, so after I clicked on finish, it will jump me over to the view history screen. It's going to be located right under the reporter tab. And this will show a list of all of the months that you have reported for. Now, if you may need to make any changes, edits, anything like that to prior submissions, this is where you will do that. You'll just click on Edit next to the month that you want to change, and then re-import the corrected information that you made in your QuickBooks or your accounting software. And you'll just click on Import. You'll go ahead and either connect it straight to QuickBooks, or you can go ahead and import the corrected file. Make sure that the numbers were brought in, verifying that that file is placed correctly. Next step. Make sure that the number, if it was changed in your QuickBooks, that is correct. If it is, click on Next Step. You'll do the same thing for the balance sheet if you needed to make any changes on the balance sheet. We import that. Oops. And then from there, you'll make sure that all of the amounts are correct, and then you'll click on Finish. So you saw how quick that was, as far as ProfitKeeper remembering how, I mapped everything out the first time. So the first time that you're doing this will probably take you a few minutes, just to make sure that all of the accounts are mapped correctly. If you don't have those account numbers that we showed on the previous screen. Okay, so that's how you submit. That is how you make any edits right under the Reporter tab, View History. And next I want to show you the reports. So there are several reports that you will have access to. Our reports will generate immediately upon submission. So you'll be able to look at your income statement, your balance sheet. We also have this report up at the top. It's called the Approved Chart of Accounts report. This report I recommend using or running when you are going to do your first time mapping, because it will give you all of the accounts that are available in ProfitKeeper along with the account numbers. So if you want to add those account numbers to your QuickBooks, you can. And then also in the analytics, like where the accounts will appear as you're analyzing your business.
So Monica, real quick,
Yeah.
Leanne Gemma from Raleigh is asking if we're using the standard updated chart of accounts, will we need to map anything?
So yeah, so yes, you will have to, if they match perfectly and you're using the actual account numbers listed here, then you won't have to do any mapping whatsoever. ProfitKeeper will pick up on these account numbers and map them for you. But if you don't have the account numbers and you have the names that match, then you'll still have to go through that mapping process. So it's only triggered by the actual account number, where it will map it for you. I hope that answered your question.
Okay.
Are there any other questions that are coming in?
She said thanks.
Well, good. Awesome. All right. Okay, so back to the reports. I do want to point one thing out, that all of our reports generate on a separate tab. So you will want to make sure that your pop-up blocker is disabled. Otherwise, it won't populate for you. You can also print these, export them in CSV, PDF, or Excel format if you'd like. And let me go back into the reports and show you the income statement. The income statement you'll probably use quite a bit because it will generate all the information for you and also give you year-to-date data. So here you'll go ahead and select the month that you want to view, the location, and then click on Run Report. And here it will show you all of the data that was brought in for that period or that month. And then it'll also give you year-to-date numbers. So that way at the end of the year, you can look at your total income, your total property management costs, all of these items here that we have, your gross profit, and then all the way down to the net income, your bottom line. So you can see how your year was. So I'm hoping that next year will be a better year for all of us. All right, let me go back in here. There are a few other reports in here that I want to show you. The Financial Reporter Account Mapping Report. This is going to show you how you mapped each account when you went through the mapping process. So this is a fairly new report to us. We did receive some requests from other brands asking, is there any way that I can see how I mapped my accounts the first time? So that way, if I need to make any changes, I can do that. So that's what this report will give you. It will let you see how you mapped each account. It'll have all the chart of accounts on the left, and then your account mappings over here on the right.
So we've got Jacob Carpenter with Unified. Jacob, do you want to unmute real quick? So we paid Unified to migrate everyone from the old chart of accounts to the new one, which Jacob, can you maybe give a quick overview of what you guys have done and what you're still offering people?
Sure. With the migration to the new chart of accounts, it's going to make this integration work a lot more easily. It's getting people onto the chart of accounts that seamlessly integrates with ProfitKeeper when you do have the account numbers activated. One note about that I'll make is there are going to be some initial mappings to do for parent accounts when you're bringing things into ProfitKeeper, but most of the accounts will map perfectly. So that's our chart of account conversion service. Takes your old chart of accounts and we go through it, review it, and rename the accounts to be in the standard chart of accounts so that this ProfitKeeper integration will work well. The other thing that we provide is monthly bookkeeping services. So we'll keep your QuickBooks up to date. We'll assign an account specialist, the bookkeeper, to your account, and it will be someone who is familiar with Showhomes, doing other Showhome locations, so they know what to pull from FranMan, how to handle inventory and that sort of thing, and keep your QuickBooks up to date so that you don't have to be worrying about that throughout the month. And so we'll be updating QuickBooks on a weekly basis. And then at the end of each month, there'll be a month-end review, and then we'll prepare financial statements and let you know when those are ready. If we have your permission, we can log in and submit your ProfitKeeper reports for you. I do know that some people prefer to do that themselves. They want to review the numbers and then they want to go through the process of putting it into ProfitKeeper themselves, and we respect that. And our monthly bookkeeping services, the fee starts at $300 a month, and then we have other services as needed, sales tax filing if that is something that you need done, help with your payroll administration and that sort of thing. We're a full service bookkeeping provider, with the exception of your business income tax. We do recommend that you have an outside tax preparer for that. So we have one-time services to get your chart of accounts set up, and then if you would like to outsource the bookkeeping services, we have ongoing monthly bookkeeping service as well.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much. So with that help, it's definitely going to allow you to spend more of your time in the analytics, the reports, the forecasting tool, analyzing your business, seeing where maybe you can possibly improve. So that's awesome that Unify is going to take care of that for you. So I guess that's what we'll jump over to next. Let me go ahead and pull up our PK demo site so I can show you what that looks like. So there's 3 areas within ProfitKeeper where we like to provide valuable feedback, where you can analyze your business, and then hopefully in return find out where you can possibly improve. So all that data is going to be located under the Analytics tab, located right here at the top. The analytics will generate overnight, so you want to give the time for the analytics to populate for the very next day. It would help if you had at least maybe 3 months of reporting data in there, so that way you can go ahead and analyze your business from there. So, okay, on the Analytics tab, we have the report card. The report card is just going to give you a very broad overview of how your business is doing as a whole. And this is benchmark against the brand. So the participation is key, of course. So the more people we have on the platform, the better analytics you're going to get. Here you'll see that it's broken out into 4 major categories. You'll have your income, cost of sales, labor costs, and operating costs. And that flow will flow all the way through the top. So you'll have them straight across the board up here as well. In the middle, we have the comparatives analysis gauges, where you can then go ahead and pinpoint the areas where you can possibly improve in each category. It will tell you the percentile ranking. This is based off of a quartile. And then you'll have the comparisons right here on the side. So you can pick the state, region, different things like that. And then down at the bottom, we have the lost profits, where you can go ahead and see where in the areas within your business where your money is being spent the most. And this is as a percentage of sales. So we understand that there's items in here that might be fixed, different expenses. So you can go ahead and actually click on those to eliminate them entirely from the chart. And then we also have the hover feature, where you can hover over each slice and look at that amount that was reported. We have the scorecard. Scorecard is just basically our colorful P&L. It is one of our favorites because it lets you drill down into each account within the chart of accounts within each category to see how you're doing. So you'll be able to run it as each month that you select. You'll be able to look at the items that were reported, the percentage of sales, percentile ranking against the previous amount for the previous month. And you can also select the different drop downs. We'll have year to date, rolling year versus the previous period or the prior year period. So that'll be available to you. And this is also available in a report form. Under the reports tab, it'll be the ranking reports. Lost profits we went over, but this one will show you all of the items in your expenses. And then it also allows you to view each period. You can look at it over 12 periods, average, or each individual month if you prefer. Back up at the top, we have trackers, comparisons in detail in each individual category. And what these will show you is the trackers will be a line graph. It will show you the orange line will always be your comparison that you'll make right here in the dropdown. And the blue line will always be your location. So you'll be able to hover over each individual dot, which represents each month. And then here you can also view each individual month, or if you want, you can view this information as a percentage of sales or dollar amounts. And that'll be available in each category. We have our comparisons, which is going to be the bar graph. Same concept where the blue bar will always be your location, and then the orange will always be your compared to, and that you can make those selections up here at the top. And then the last one we have is the details. Details will be our pie chart. You can go ahead and make the selection here on the side for the compare to. The top pie will always be your location, and then the bottom will be your comparison that you select. The last section in here is the account tracker. This will let you drill down on a more granular level, so that way if you want to take a look at each individual account within the chart of accounts, you can do that. So if there's a specific, cost of goods that you want to look at to see what's going on, you can. And then it's the same thing. Orange will be your comparison. Blue line will be your location. So that was a very high level on how the analytics work. Are there any questions so far?
We've got one in the chat from Pratt Barn Dollar in Houston. He's saying, to clarify, do these scorecards show us our relative performance against all Showhomes franchisees who enter data, or some generic region? What are we compared to?
So this is, and that's a great question. So this will be automatic, going to show you the brand as a whole. So you'll be able to benchmark yourself against everybody in Showhomes. But then you can go ahead and make, your selection in the drop downs as far as like who you want to compare yourself to, if it's a state or region, that type of thing.
But it's not people who've entered data. I mean, if they haven't entered data, they don't have anything.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And then also there needs to be at least 4 locations within a group to compare, because we do want to keep your information, not available to everybody. So you can't figure out your numbers. So any other questions on the analytics? And if you do have any questions, we have our support team who's willing to give you a walkthrough on the analytics. They're really knowledgeable. We'll show you from start to finish how to read them, as well as the reports and then the forecasting tool, which I'm going to jump over to next. So after you have uploaded your financials, you've looked at the reports, you've viewed the analytics, maybe pinpointed areas within your business where you can possibly improve, that's where the forecasting tool will come into play. Under the Reporter tab, right here is the forecasting tool. You can go ahead and click on that. And here you can go ahead and start changing the numbers, playing with the numbers, creating goals, scenarios, different things like that. So here you can go ahead and show the months that you reported for. And then from here you can go ahead and start changing the data. So, and it goes all the way up at the top from the revenue. Like if you want to increase your revenue for the next month by a certain amount here, or you can go ahead and change the numbers in your cost of goods. Here, these are new, these little toggles. Before you would have to enter in the actual percentage of sales, but we've made it a little simpler where you can go ahead and just actually enter in the amounts and change the data. So like for instance, if I was spending a little too much in my cost of goods, I knew that I can probably make some cutbacks on that. I'll go ahead and enter in the scenario amounts, toggle off, and then down at the bottom, it will show me how just making those small changes from month to month will impact my bottom line. So this one is used quite a bit by our franchisees and all of your users. So any other questions?
Questions, Monica. Chris Keller, San Diego. Who has access to our data? Corporate, other regions, other franchisees?
So we, of course, like, you'll have access, but nobody else will have access to your ProfitKeeper site unless you give them access to it. So if you have like a bookkeeper or, family member, anybody that you want to share this information with, you as the owner will need to give us authorization to add them and give them access to it.
But I mean, corporate will have access, but your data will come up as far as part of the average, but no one's going to know that it's your information, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So Yasmin in Denver, on analytics, who defines the group you're comparing to?
So with the analytics, this is something that maybe you guys can give us some ideas on what you'd like to see in there and how you would like to benchmark yourself. The ones that are given automatic are the state and the brand. But if you want to see other comparisons, we can go ahead and set those up for you. Just let us know what you want to see, and then we can add them.
Yeah, someone says, I like it if it compares us to Showhomes or Home Stagers, but I don't need Dennis in Texas. But you're not getting other information. It's only data that goes into, so it would just be against other Showhomes franchises.
Yeah, and we're up for any ideas that you want to add. Maybe get with Matt if you want them to kind of express what they want to see in here, and we can go ahead and set it up as an option.
Well, I mean, there are regional differences, the West versus the East or Midwest. So you might want to compare how do your expenses compare. Your expenses in Southern California are going to be a lot different than Mobile, Alabama. So
right.
Those are some things that you can look at, I would think. So
yeah, most definitely. All right, these are all great questions. Does anybody else have any questions on the analytics or how to import or get the data in there?
Well, from the last call, I mean, I think some people felt a little overwhelmed that it was a lot, that it was complicated. But I mean, it seems like, I know Renee in Northville, one of our franchisees, said it took her like 30 seconds. So
yeah.
Jamie Lynn, you're on the call. You just uploaded Nancy's for the year. Was I think today? Can you unmute and kind of tell us? I mean, it seems
fast.
So,
what was we were stuck in May, and there was something, and I actually had to call support, which was really simple. They were super sweet. Got on the phone with them. I said, I'm off. I don't understand. The key thing that you want to know when you're off, when you're not balanced, is the fact that I think you have to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to divide it by 2, divide it in half. And that's the number that you're looking for when you're off. Because I was looking for a number and I'm like, I can't find it. But when I talked to her, she was like, oh no, divide that in half. And that's what, and so we were able to find it. I don't exactly understand that. And I would love somebody to tell me that.
Yeah.
But it was very, very simple. And then once I got through May, I ended up flying through pretty much all the next months, except there was one. And I was able to figure it out because of what she had told me. The girl on the phone had told me about dividing it in half.
Yes, let me go over that really quick. And it's a really simple process, and we have that on the actual screen. Let me show you. So, okay, going through and entering in your P&L. Let's say that you're off balance by a certain amount. Usually what causes this right here, if you're out of balance, this is where this little note will come in and kind of help you and guide you. But what you can do is next to this right here, the little C's, and then you have the little D's right here. This is where you can toggle between credits and debits, basically. So there's times where we've seen amounts come in with little brackets around it. And when that happens, it tends to double it up or come in as a double. So instead of being 900, it's 1800. So in order to fix it, you just toggle it from C to a D. See how that is right here? And then if you ever get that, you know that I'm just going to have to toggle or find the amount that's half of that amount and then toggle from a C to a D and then to put it into balance. I hope that helps or that made sense.
That was a huge help.
Yeah. So, and then if you ever do get into a situation where you're off balance and not sure where it's at, definitely give us a call so that way we can help you out.
So, but Jamie, now that you've gone through this, I would think that if you start doing, well, hopefully you're going to be doing it monthly for all your Showhomes franchises that you support.
Yep.
I don't think this is going to take you that long, right? I mean, this is talking minutes to upload this.
It'll probably take about 10 minutes at max. And it depends. Depending on if we had to add a sub account, like, when we got the SBA loans or we got the PPP loans, those were not things, so we had to add those in. If they have a new loan or a new credit card or a new bank account, you just have to map those. And it wasn't difficult at all. It literally, as soon as I figured it out, it didn't take long at all. It's just a matter of doing it and pulling it and dragging it and dropping it. So it doesn't take long.
So the goal is we want everyone to have bookkeepers to do this stuff because that's what they're good at, and we'd rather have you guys doing Showhomes work. And so you've got Jamie Lynn, who's awesome. You've got Jacob and Unify. So there are a lot of different options. Some people use local people, but what we'd like to do is just have this. I mean, Jamie Lynn, I guess you're just going to have this just as a something you put in your calendar that you upload whenever you're month in. I would think.
Yes, I did actually, and so this is a question that I have. So if Nancy and Ann and Renee all add me to their ProfitKeeper, will I get those notifications also, or is it just the primary person that gets the notifications?
You will get the notifications as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then if I get the notifications, then I won't need to put it in my calendar. I'll just do it when it comes in. My thought would be that I would give them a P&L at the end of the month because I typically get everything done by the 10th so that it gets up to you guys at corporate. Mm-hmm. They get their P&L at the end of the month. They review it, making sure everything's good by, say, the 15th, I could have ProfitKeeper done.
Okay, awesome. So bottom line, if you guys can, work with whoever does your books, that would be awesome. And then, I think it's just going to be a matter of, spending some time and learning, the best way to use the system. Trap Barn Dollar Houston again. Hi, Monica. I missed the first couple of minutes. Can you please review how to log on?
Yeah, of course. So this is where you'll go ahead and log on. The website is members.myprofitkeeper.com. And you'll go ahead and enter in your credentials. If you haven't received them or you would like new ones, you can go ahead and create them down below. Or you can go ahead and give us a call and we'll make sure to provide those to you. And then you'll just click on login. It'll take you to the home screen. It'll have your list of items that you'll have to complete.
Leanne Gemma is asking, can you review the locations in the setup? I'm not quite clear on the options there.
Yeah, of course. So the locations, if you have multiple locations, this is where you can go ahead and click on locations button. And here it'll show out a list of all the locations that you have access to. So it'll display similar to this. So I have access to all of our PK demo sites where I can go ahead and, access them by clicking on the change location button here, and then it'll put me right into that location. Here is where you'll verify which location you're actually in. So it'll have the description right under your welcome, your name. So that's where you'll go ahead and use that change location under the home tab or the location up here next to the log off button. Any other questions so far?
Jamie Lynn is asking, do bookkeepers have a multi-company login so we can toggle between, or will we have separate logins?
It's your preference. So if you already have a login and say you're doing books for several owners, then what we can do is you can let us know what your current login is, and then we'll just go ahead and add that location to your access. So that way you won't have to have, 5 or 6 different sets of credentials. So yeah, we can do that for you.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, and then also under the setup tab, this is where you can actually change your password and your login name to something a little more, user-friendly, easier to remember, because the ones we do give you are not easy at all. So you can go ahead and click on that setup tab, change those after you've logged in for the first time. And then this is also where you will see your business information. So you can edit this. We ask that you keep your email address up to date since this is our main form of contact. And also this is how we reset your credentials if you need them. And then also you'll see all the locations that you have access to. And then you'll also see all of the users who have access to your site. So that way you can, view to see who has access to be able to view your, reports and analytics and so forth. So if you do want to add anybody, we'll need your authorization to do that.
Chris Gulliver, San Diego, asking, are we getting an email with our login info?
Yes. So if you haven't received it, definitely give us a call. Our contact information is up here. You click on that contact button, and you can go ahead and either give us a call, send us an email, or if you want, you can just put in here, I have not received, my credentials. And then you'll want to make sure that you at least put in some of your contact information, maybe your legal entity name, so we can look you up, and then we can go ahead and send those out to you.
So check your emails. You may want to check your spam just in case it.
Yeah.
I guess that could happen as well. But if they haven't seen anything, should they just email support@ProfitKeeper.com?
Yeah. This is our email right here, support@ProfitKeeper.com, or they can give us a call, or send an issue.
When was it sent?
I'm sorry?
The question was, when was the email sent?
Oh gosh, I believe it was last month or the month before. It was right when we had launched. So it's been a while. So if you
Has anyone else not gotten your login email?
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat. Okay, well, Chris, you're the only one. I don't know. Okay, so bottom line, just who would it have come from, by the way?
It's just a very generic email, just from ProfitKeeper. It'll just say ProfitKeeper on it. You don't have it either? Okay, so there's quite a few.
Can we just resend it to everybody?
Yeah, of course. Let me go ahead and anybody else that has not.
Brandon in Santa Fe, Pratt in Houston, and Jensen. Sound like no one has it, or they got lost in a.
Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do then, I'll get with my support team after this call and have them just go ahead and send it out to everybody, if that'll work. So.
And we're recording this, so we can also share that, I would think. And then if your bookkeeper's not on the call, I would suggest you review this. And I guess if they have questions, they can talk to support. Sounds like Jamie had good luck with walking them through it. Okay, Ann Jensen, in regards to locations, do we set up each territory as a separate location? So yeah, we have Ann is a multi-unit owner in Minneapolis.
Okay.
So
Usually what we do is, now I'm not sure if they're set up under a separate legal entity or are they
yeah, I
separate?
think yours are all under one location. So yours
Oh,
aren't.
okay. Okay. Then and you'll go ahead and be able to access all of the locations that you own, and report for them all at the same time.
Yeah, I
So
would do. And yours are all in one location, so that's fine.
yeah, that'll be a huge time saver because you'll do the mapping for one, which will in turn do the mapping for all of them. So you'll
So,
just go ahead and connect your QuickBooks and it'll divide it up for you.
so Nancy Jones is in. They just bought a second location, but it's not multiple units in one location. They're separate. So
Mm-hmm.
I would think that would be treated as separate entities with
Yeah,
different books.
if they are separate entities, you'll still have access to both locations. But what you'll have to do is toggle between each one, by clicking on the location button. And then let's say that, all of these right now are currently set up under separate legal entities. And then I would just change into each location that I want to report for. So you'll have to, report for each one separately, but you'll have access to both under your set of credentials.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Oh, how do I add another email? So that, you can go ahead and give us a call for, and we'll add it to the to-do email reminders. So that way they can, be sent out to whoever you'd like.
So are you going to walk? It might be useful to send us the steps just to kind of chunk this thing down for people. And you may, I guess, do you do that? Is that in your original email that they didn't get?
In the email to login.
Right, the login and kind of the initial steps.
Yeah, so, there's it. All it will have is, it's kind of like a welcome email letting you know how to access the site, and then it'll have your credentials. But it doesn't walk you through on, how you're actually going to upload. It's just basic instructions on, this is our website. This is where I think it has a link in there as well, and then, with your credentials, and you'll just sign in. But we do.
It may be useful for them just to watch this video again to see like
Yeah.
how to do the analytics and the reports and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and under the reporter tab, we do have some training guides, that you can follow as well. So it has some screenshots and step-by-step instructions on how to do things in here. So, or how to upload.
So bottom line is we need to start adding data. Otherwise, this thing isn't very useful. And
Correct.
and again, I would start, working with all your bookkeepers. We've got Shauna who works with Chris Gulliver, and we've got Jacob and Jamie Lynn and everyone else. If you're doing your own books or have a local person, I would just get started and let's get moving on this thing. Questions for you guys? Any other questions or feedback? I think you've answered everything.
Awesome.
So,
all right. So I'm going to leave our contact information up, and then, I'm going to go ahead and contact our support team and let them know to go ahead and send out credentials to everybody, and, check your spam, junk, that type of thing, just in case, it happens to go in there. Or if you don't get it at all, please give us a call. This is our number right here. We are located in Mesa, Arizona. So right now it's 3:47 our time, and we stay open until 5. So, if you don't get those credentials in the next 30 minutes, then, please give us a call so we can make sure that we have your correct email, that sort of thing.
all right, guys. All right. So, Monica, I appreciate it.
Thank
And everyone else on the
you.
call, guys.
Yeah, I
And look
appreciate your time.
All right. Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.